Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Public Health Management Series. Our topic today is on exercise and ergonomics. Again, this Public Health Management Series was created by LAITR in collaboration with the Youth Justice Fund and is being funded by the Blue Cross Blue Shield Michigan. So before we progress into this week's topic, which was again exercise and ergonomics, I wanted to offer a chance to remind and check in with everyone as far as some of the resources and education provided in our previous presentations. So some of this stuff might be handy to have with you or keep nearby, whether it's something like your individualized plans or your habit trackers. I wanted to provide a chance also for everyone to reflect on some of the education and resources provided in some of the more recent presentations, including how well you're doing with implementing some of the different coping strategies and self-care strategies addressed, some of the different education that was provided with nutrition, also education and support provided when it came to supporting quality of sleep. So today's presentation will address the importance of exercise, how to support exercise and exercise participation, and then it will wrap up by discussing ergonomics and body mechanics. The importance of exercise. This information comes from the American Heart Association, and it discusses that exercise has the ability to reduce the risk of a variety of conditions. These conditions can include heart disease, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, dementia, and Alzheimer's as well. In addition, exercise has been shown to improve sleep quality. It has shown improvements with insomnia as well as obstructive sleep apnea. So again, overall improving sleep quality and potentially sleep quantity. In addition, exercise has been shown to improve quality of life and overall well-being. When it comes to different cognitive processes, exercise has shown improvements with memory, attention, as well as processing speed. And exercise has been shown to have effects on symptoms of depression and anxiety by reducing those symptoms. And then to turn your attention to the first two pages of the resources provided in these presentation materials, which can be found on the Life After Incarceration website, I wanted to turn your attention to pages 2 and 3, which is the infographic from therapyaid.com that talks about the mental health benefits of exercise. So you can see exercise has the ability to address these specific symptoms or mental illnesses as they stay, but also has other effects such as sleep difficulties, effects on physical health, energy, as well as self-esteem. In addition, this infographic talks about different forms of exercise, and it also includes tips as far as when to potentially implement exercise, as well as what strategies might be helpful to support exercise participation and implementation. So now that we have a general idea as far as the benefits of exercise and how it might help you specifically, it is important to talk about what amount or quantity of exercise is recommended for someone. And again, it's important to know that even small changes in doing any form of exercise or activity beyond what is your current is helpful and will ultimately help you progress towards goals and a healthier lifestyle. So this information, again, coming courtesy of the American Heart Association, they recommend that an individual should participate in 150 minutes per week of moderate intense aerobic activity. This comes out to 21 minutes per day. Moderate intense aerobic activity can look like brisk walking, water aerobics, dancing, gardening, participating in doubles tennis, or biking at a speed of less than 10 miles per hour. In vigorous intense aerobic activity, they recommend participating in 75 minutes per week, which comes out to less than 11 minutes per day. Vigorous intense aerobic activity can look like hiking uphill or hiking while wearing a heavy backpack, running, swimming laps, aerobic dancing, heavy yard work such as digging, singles tennis, or biking at a speed of more than 10 miles per hour. In addition, the American Heart Association recommends 2 days of weight training or muscle building per week. One thing to highlight in some of these different aerobic activities listed is that they may not appear as some of the most straightforward or traditional exercises that you would imagine. There are things that can be more fun, more leisurely, or more creative that still constitute aerobic activity. So some of those things would look like we mentioned dancing, gardening, or even participating in something like doubles or singles and tennis, which has a social participation component. And some of the other areas, again, such as dancing or gardening, may have a leisurely or creative element component. So that just highlights that there are ways to incorporate aerobic activity and overall activity into your day without participating in like the straightforward traditional sense of exercise. So when it comes to supporting exercise, as mentioned, even the smallest step in the right direction is a success. So some of the best ways to support exercise start by setting small and realistic goals. So this can look like ways to support yourself before you exercise, such as drinking enough water and also ensuring quality nutrition before and after you exercise. Drinking enough water will help you with your recovery and also help you feel energized and prepared to exercise and participate in exercise. And then quality nutrition before you exercise will support this as well. Quality nutrition after exercise will support your recovery and your will to continue to participate in exercise. In addition, it is recommended that you look at your routine and pick the best time of day for you to participate in exercise. So this is a way to set yourself up for success as far as incorporating exercise into your routine. With that in mind, now that you know your goals as far as when you want to exercise, it's important to overall know your plan and prepare. So this can look like picking out your clothes the night before to ensure that you're ready to go in the morning, you don't face any obstacles. As well, other ways to plan and prepare can include deciding which exercise is to participate before the day that you plan on exercising. In addition, other ways to support the initial participation of exercise can include tracking it daily. One way you can do that outside of utilizing the habit trackers that we discussed in the first initial weeks of these presentations is to complete the exercise log that was provided on page 6 of your resources handout. This is a daily one that just kind of outlines what exercises you may include, how many sets, the number of sets, as well as cool downs. So that is just one way outside of the habit tracker that we provide in some of those initial weeks to support exercise participation. In addition, other ways to support exercise can include a buddy system. So find an accountability buddy, whether that is someone who goes with you to the gym every day or every day that you plan to go, or this can also be someone who just offers general support and encouragement to help you reach your goals. Related to that, supporting exercise can include making it a challenge or friendly competition, or supporting motivation by getting new workout gear or a membership or a different membership. Other ways to support exercise and overall the incorporation of more activity in one's day is something called NEAT, which is essentially small activities that are done throughout the day to increase your activity. So these options or solutions or day-to-day changes can look like opting to take the stairs as opposed to taking the elevator. Even something like participating in household chores can help to increase your overall activity within the day. Other ways to support small changes as far as increasing activity within the day or within the week is something like parking far away and increasing your walk as you enter the store. Opting to stand more than you sit. Other ways to support small activity increases throughout the day can include taking a walking break, whether it's during your day or at lunch. In addition, this can look like opting to walk as many destinations as possible. So perhaps you park at a central location, and then after you grocery shop, you choose, instead of driving to the coffee shop, you choose to walk to the coffee shop or walk to your next destination. Other ways to increase your enjoyment and fulfillment when it comes to exercise is participating in things like walking or biking new routes so that you are not stuck in the typical routine. You can find ways to support exercise by doing something as simple as dog walking or volunteering to dog walk. Jump rope, hopscotch, hula hoop are all ways that you can increase your activity participation in a more fun or non-traditional sense. Other simple ways to implement exercise into your day-to-day are doing things like squats, crunches, or lunges in the comfort of your own home. New sports are another way that you can participate in exercise or activity that may be fun and what is considered not traditional. So some of these new sports, just for example, can include ice skating, martial arts, paintball, rock climbing, and bowling. And interesting enough, according to research, during a 3-game bowling series, the average person walks more than half a mile. So this could be a great idea for a weekend activity with your friends. And finally, other ways to support the implementation or increase participation exercises activity is that a lot of different classes and exercise spaces offer free or reduced cost opportunities to participate for new members. So again, returning back to the resources provided with this presentation, which are found on the LAITR or Life After Incarceration website, is you have this link right here, which is a link to free or discounted exercise classes, groups, etc. And you can see on this link, they state there are 22 different ways to get a free or discounted workout simply for being a new member. So different trial classes, such as CrossFit, 9 rounds, which is a kickboxing class, etc. Or Orange Theory, which they offer a free 1-hour workout. Other traditional places like a Lifetime Fitness or a Gold's Gym or a Crunch even. In addition, they highlight some of the free trials for online workout classes, such as the Beachbody, Daily Burn, and then also special offers as far as this one is bar method, which uses low impact workouts that you can participate in at home. So this link overall highlights different ideas as far as how you can obtain trials or discounted or free courses to kind of dip your toe in the water of different exercises that might be of interest to you. And finally, turning back to our presentation materials on pages 4 and 5 are just a list of different exercises and workouts that you can participate in that you can even do at home. So we have this 300 workout sheet that starts at a beginner's level, and it tells you exactly how many reps, which is the number of times you perform an exercise. And it starts at the beginner, which is just 20 per each exercise, but that's also split into 2 or 4 or 4 as you see here. And then if you're struggling for ideas as far as knowing that you want to exercise, but you don't know how to perform a specific exercise or how to do it for a specific body part, this handout right here, which starts on page 5 of your presentation materials, highlights different exercises you can do based upon the body part that you would like to target. So the second portion of our presentation is going to address ergonomics. For those who do not know, ergonomics can be defined as the science of designing and arranging things so that people and things interact in the most efficient and safe manner possible. So what this essentially means is interacting with something and maintaining appropriate body mechanics, body positioning, so that you are supported in a healthy manner. In addition, another piece of this presentation will address body mechanics, which is the dynamic interactions with objects and things in a manner that is safe and efficient. So again, turning to the presentation materials provided with this presentation on the Life After Incarceration website, you can see here on page 8, there is an overview sheet as far as what proper body mechanics looks like. So again, it has a definition, which is working smarter, not harder, and performing little changes in the way that you currently do activities to decrease the stress on your body. And then there are also specific examples when it comes to doing things like washing dishes or pushing a broom or performing laundry. So this will provide you an overview to supplement some of the education that I am preparing to provide. So again, when it comes to ergonomics, it is designing and arranging things so that people and things interact in the most efficient and safe manner. What we are going to first start to talk about is the most common prolonged positions that someone may be in. So these are standing, sitting, and sleeping. So the first thing to address is standing. and how to support standing so that you are standing in a safe, efficient manner and to avoid or decrease stress on your body. So good standing posture is considered to be your knees slightly bent with your weight distributed evenly. You are to find a balanced position so that you are at maximal stability and function. So as you can imagine, you want your weight evenly on your feet and you want to find a position of comfort, but also stability and function so that you are not off balance or uncomfortable. If you are participating in prolonged standing, whether this is at work or any different setting, these are some general tips as far as how to support prolonged standing to reduce discomfort and stress on your body. Something that you can do is to use a small stool or open a cabinet door and rest the foot inside the cabinet base. This kind of just helps to break up that prolonged standing posture and shift your weight a little bit so that it's not based in one central position. In addition, similar to this, you can alternate from a parallel foot stance to a staggered stance, which is just one foot in front of the other to again shift weight and reduce the prolonged time that you're in one specific position. Other simple tips to support and decrease stress on the body when standing for a long period of time is to buy supportive shoes or find stress absorbing mats. Sitting. Sitting is a second prolonged position that someone may find themselves in, whether working or a different setting and context. Good sitting posture is considered to be maintaining your hips and knees at 90 degrees, which is a simple right angle with your feet flat on the floor or on a footrest. In addition, when reaching, to support reaching, especially if that's a repetitive task in your day-to-day, you are encouraged to keep items within arm's reach, and being cautious of any twisting or excessive bending. So if your day consists of prolonged sitting, you are recommended to change position every 30 minutes. One of the ways that you can do this is through buying an ergonomic chair, which has the ability to adjust the height, seat depth, and back angle to help alleviate pressure and discomfort and stress on the body. So ergonomic chairs have different features and functions that allow you to adjust, like as mentioned, the seat height, the seat depth, as well as the back angle. You can also adjust things like armrests so they are in a comfortable position. Ergonomic chairs may also offer lumbar support to help support pressure on the back, because it is, as a fun fact to know, sitting is actually a more stressful position on the back as opposed to something like standing. If you do not have something like an ergonomic chair with back support, you can also use something as simple as a rolled up towel to help you find an appropriate position. When it comes to sitting in the car, it is recommended that you sit with your knees no higher than your hips. So again, keep it at 90-degree position or your knees slightly below the hips. And then you should maintain a fair distance from the steering wheel, which means that you are not too close to the steering wheel nor too far away, that you're doing a lot of excessive reaching or twisting. And then you can also modify your steering wheel height so that it's not too high above or below. And again, you're avoiding a lot of excessive reaching or twisting. The third prolonged position someone may find themselves in is, of course, sleeping. So the key with sleep is comfort and finding the most comfortable position for you. So these recommendations are based on sleeping positions if you have a soft mattress. So if you are someone who prefers to sleep on your back, it is recommended that you keep a pillow under your knees to reduce lower back strain. If you are someone who sleeps on your side, it is recommended that you keep a pillow between your knees to prevent misalignment and twisting of the lower back. If you are someone who prefers to sleep on your stomach, it is recommended that you keep a small pillow under your feet to bend the ankles and the knees and overall reduce the strain or stress on your lower back. When it comes to recommended sleeping positions for a firm mattress, if you are someone who prefers to sleep on your back, you're recommended again to keep those pillows under your knees, or you may roll up a towel, or you may roll a towel in your pillow to fill the space between your neck. If you are someone who sleeps on a firm mattress and you prefer to sleep on your side, again, you are recommended to find a towel roll or stack up your pillows to prevent excessive bending of your neck in either direction. And then on a firm mattress, if you prefer to sleep on your stomach, it is recommended that you utilize pillows as needed to reduce back strain and overall keep a flat or neutral position of the back. So when it comes to body mechanics and safe lifting and safe exercises, there are some golden rules to implement and address. So one of the things that is recommended to do is what is called conservation of age. Conservation of age is the distance between the horizontal difference between yourself and the object that you are lifting. So as an overall golden recommendation, it is recommended that you minimize the distance between yourself and the object, keep the object as close to your body as possible, overall helping to reduce the stress on your back. When lifting, you're recommended to maintain a straight back, bend from your hips, again, avoid twisting, and maintain good posture while carrying the object close to your body. In addition, when you are performing and lifting even a light or heavy object, you're recommended to lift with your legs, have a wide base with either that parallel or staggered stance, and keep the objects between your legs while looking straight forward. As a rule that can apply to lifting, sleeping, or in almost any position, you want to avoid or minimize twisting as much as possible. And then finally, as a general rule, if you want to be able to control the weight of the object that you're lifting, and then if you cannot do so, you're always encouraged to exercise your best judgment as far as whether you can or should attempt to lift that object. And finally, here are some general rules when it comes to supporting healthy movement. So in general, it is noted that your body is to move as a unit. So you are to avoid twisting and move your feet with your body. When bending, you are recommended to take a stooping posture, which is better as opposed to doing a lot of bending because it takes the stress off your back. So stooping involves a slight bend at the knees to minimize the amount of bending at your hips. When bending is used, the bend should only come from the hips and not within the back. Crouching and kneeling. If you're crouching, you can always use something to support yourself. And if you are kneeling, you're recommended to take 1 or 2 knees while kneeling. When reaching, in general, if you are reaching below, you are recommended to squat with your knees apart while maintaining a neutral back, and you can use your thighs to support yourself when you return to the standing position. If you are reaching overhead, it is recommended to get as close as possible to the object you're reaching for, and if needed, you can use your opposite hand to support yourself on a shelf or table. Other ways to support healthy movement. If you are getting in and out of a car and or bathtub, again, you should move the body as a unit. So you're turning your feet with your body and avoiding twisting. When it comes to getting in and out of bed, again, avoiding twisting is the key here. So you can implement what is called the log roll technique, where you roll to one side, you get your feet off the bed, and you catapult yourself all at once to avoid twisting. And finally, when it comes to stairs, it is recommended that you go up with your good or preferred side and you go down with your worst performing leg. Other general rules to support healthy movement and safe lifting and overall performance. If possible, whenever you have the option to either push or pull an object, it is recommended that you push the object and you utilize your legs and glutes. Other things to highlight in our day-to-day activities is how to support safe reaching. If you're reaching into a grocery cart or a washer, for example, you can utilize what is called the golfer's lift, which is when you're reaching down into that grocery cart or washing machine or other item or object, you're recommended to reach with your one arm and then lift the leg that is opposite of the arm that you're reaching with. So essentially, this is called the golfer's lift. And then whatever arm goes down to reach, the opposite leg is going up to provide an overall sense of balance and support. When doing something in your day-to-day, like putting grocery bags into the trunk of the car, again, you can utilize a golfer's lift with that. So reaching with one arm and then the opposite leg goes up into the air. It is also recommended to put your groceries closest to the opening of the trunk as possible. When doing something like shoveling, we're especially applicable here in the state of Michigan, it is recommended that you find an ergonomic shovel, which has a bend in it, which helps to overall reduce the load and stress on your back. and prevents a lot of stooping and bending when it comes to shoveling the snow. It also helps to keep your back in a neutral position. And you're also recommended to tighten your core when you are lifting or shoveling snow. And finally, when it comes to a day-to-day activity, like doing the dishes, you're recommended that your counter or sink should be at a level that allows the elbows to be at that right angle, 90 degrees of flexion. Your back should be kept in a neutral position, and your shoulders and hips should be aligned. And then also when doing something like prolonged standing, while doing something like dishes, you can refer back to some of those other prolonged standing tips. So that concludes the health management series presentation on exercise and ergonomics. Next week, our topic will address issues and occurrences related to substance use. And then here are the references for the presentation. And again, if you are looking for the presentation materials provided with this presentation, it can be found on the Life After Incarceration website.